The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hey everybody, we're back. This is the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Kinney, joined by my co-hosts.
I'm Bill.
I'm Rich.
I'm Seth.
We are back this week with another new book. Not another flurry of Nights episodes yet. We'll get there because I still want to talk about Overgeared more. But this week we're talking about a brand new book that Richard is very excited about. He's just caught up to date on it recently.
I did what I don't recommend people doing, where you grab something and then you read it, and you read it so far and destroy your sleep schedule for. But I literally overnight, I went from nothing to catching up to the end of the 4th volume, and I'm F5ing now. Like, it is quite good. The novel is Isaac. It's new to the West, Korean novel that's being translated by Light Novel Bastion.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've really liked everything they've done. I've read by them so far, so exciting.
I gotta say, it is fantastic. It is rather new, so I'm gonna try my best to explain this without spoiling too much, since there's not a huge amount available. There's only 4 volumes.
Yeah, as I understand, there's about like 4/10 of the
What's
current extant story is translated.
And it's still going.
So yeah. So it sounds like there's a lot more story to go.
Bill, do you mind giving us the light novel summary?
Not at all. Insane. Traitor. Terrorist. The title given to Jun Young, a soldier who fought a lost war. Performing the most devious last stand befitting his titles, his memories were sent to another world. Now named Isaac, he seeks to live out his days in relative peace. But with his family wanting him dead, he is sent to the campus, the Empire's greatest center of education, in hopes that he would be expelled and tarnish his position as the heir of his family. He is told that the school will treat him as if he doesn't exist and that he isn't protected by its rules. But Isaac, or Jun Young, sees it differently. There are no rules to hold him back from getting what he wants.
Yes. This is
Agreed.
my man Isaac is the definition of schemer supreme.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
I love a good schemer.
Oh man.
Oh, do we get the face slaps too?
No face slaps here. More like if he needs to use violence. Actually, there's one character that he beats the shit out of. He slaps him, punches him down, whatever, as an example, because he can't touch him. This is the kind of character where if he wasn't the character we know and we follow and realize that he is true neutral. He doesn't care about life nor death. He doesn't care about you or whatever. He only cares if you infringe on him. He is true neutral, right? Like, but the way he acts, and when you look at the other characters and look at our main character, he's kind of lawful evil.
Okay.
Like he uses the rules, bureaucracy, tools, status as weapons against you. And because he doesn't care about life, because this is Jun Young, this is the crazy terrorist himself in the body of this kid that they thought was an idiot. Not an idiot. When he actually gets out of the campus and graduates, and I would explain more about that later, but that's pretty important to the story. Literally, when he shows up and he tells people, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I just want to work in some rural town as their administrator for the rest of my life. Just leave me alone. I don't need commendations. I don't need much of anything. Just leave me alone. And they won't leave him alone.
Why won't people leave those people alone?
Because they asked to be left alone, and that's an instant sign that you should not leave them alone to the bureaucracy.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna build power and come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, that's like that thing that when you go blow up like an area and you like kill people's parents, it makes them terrorists.
See, that's the beauty of this character is if he was going to kill people's parents, he would kill everyone. When he was going to sabotage something, he doesn't play nice. In fact, he laughs because he expects you to do the most efficient way. Like, for example, if you were to burn down all of our construction material and then murder some members of our workforce and threaten them that if they work for us, they will come back. stopping us from even being able to hire people with money, then that would be the easiest way of dealing with us. But they won't do that. They're playing it this way, and that's easy to deal with.
So he's not upset they're doing evil things to him. He's upset about their shoddy workmanship.
Yeah. And because he doesn't want to be a pawn, he understands these people could kill him if they wanted to. Like physically they could kill you, but because I am very good at what I do, you can't. And then that's really good. And this is like competent, like it's like a duel of competence versus competence.
It's got a very like dungeon defense kind of feel to it.
I was about to bring up Dantalion.
A little bit. Isaac's a little bit like Dantalion. If Dantalion didn't so much have daddy issues and more fought a losing war against a combined offensive of America pulling out and abandoning South Korea, North Korea and China attacking, and Japan invading to steal land from the South Koreans as well.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how they set up the beginning.
That's a pretty rough war.
And
Sorry, Korea.
and then the president of Korea and all the generals surrender and then run and join Japan or America and get their severance package and all other stuff. And he is trapped defending his land by himself. His home city ends up getting bombed by chemical weapons from Japan, and he loses everyone. And from then on, he's like, I'm not surrendering. I'm not giving up. We're going to do stuff. And because he's so crazy in how he's done it, he got promoted and demoted and promoted and demoted and promoted and court-martialed for war crimes because he did so much. They're like, nah, we're just going to bump him back down to sergeant.
That doesn't sound like
The world's most lethal sergeant.
No, this is a very Chinese concept of like, no, let his merits be his, like, remove his merits, that'll be his punishment. Take his merits into consideration. Only make him a sergeant. No, I'll get yelled at. I've been yelled at before.
So I have to ask, what is the nationality of this author?
He is very Korean.
Oh, okay, that checks out.
Like, obviously. And I can understand the fear it would take in current events if America was to pull out in supporting South Korea and we stopped checking Japan and Japan was free to start invading people again, and China and North Korea invading people. I can imagine what you'd have to do. And he was sometime in the future, but not. He was in the not 100 years from now fighting wars, right?
I see, like the 2059.
Yeah, the 2059 fighting and raging guerrilla warfare and bombing things and doing all this other stuff, whatever it takes, right? Is how he did stuff. His last stand is doing whatever he takes and taking them with him.
All right.
And then as the bomb goes off, he wakes up in the body of this boy Isaac.
Reincarnator.
And then his body getting pulled out of a bunch of corpses because this kid named Isaac was being sent to the college. Now, keep in mind,
It's a transmigrator, technically.
oh yeah, it is a transmigrator because this is still Isaac's body. Their memories kind of merged. Right?
Sorry, I just actually started reading Doom to be canon fodder, and it's a very relevant concept. Continue.
Let me go back before I explain Isaac's backstory. Because
Sure.
Isaac is the character you start with, but you really need to understand Jun Young. This is how they introduce him. He is on a battlefield, and he is chain smoking, and he has a bunch of cartons of cigarettes on him because he chain smokes. Is what he does, and he's handing it out to his soldiers that have been through hell and high water with him, and are looking at their support. The rebels, we're considered rebels now, have sent them backup now, and by backup, they kidnapped children and sent them to reinforce this crack squad of elites, children like from the ages of 8 up to 16. And Jun Young is looking at them. He's like, in his disgust, is like, these kids are young, right? They're gonna get us killed. Okay, these kids are gonna die. We're gonna die. He's already accepted that we're gonna die, but these kids are gonna get us killed faster. So he's smoking all this other stuff, and he talks to his boy, and he's like, okay, hand them a white flag, kids. We don't need you. Go over there, wave your white flag to the Japanese, and go over there. You don't need to die with us. And the kids are afraid. And then he pulls out a gun and shoots, and it's like, no, get on and get. When this happens, some officer shows up out of nowhere and sees these kids holding a white flag and pulls his gun out because how they deal with deserters is they shoot him. Now, this guy himself, the general himself is a deserter, but he's back because they're trying to surrender and he can go out and get a bunch of money and all that other stuff, whatever. Jun Young, it was so practiced. You realize he's killed generals before because not only does he shoot this man in the face, Like the tire, there's a trade, and the guy thinks he's not gonna do it. Shoots him in the face, puts the general's body in the back of the car. The driver's like, "Oh, what's the story this time? Was it a sniper shot? What was he hit by the sniper? Whatever." Everyone's so rehearsed that you realize Jun Young has been killing his superiors for like years. like everything is so
Trained
rehearsed.
professional.
They're being attacked. They have some support. Everything. They're making them do a final last stand for a supposed super bomb that they've been working on. But it's been impossible because the people developing it defected. So like they don't even have the bomb. And he figured it out. And he's like, I'm not going to die for them. I'm going to retreat. And if I'm going to die, I'm going to die with the people who sent us to die. So he goes there and he starts holding him hostage. And the soldiers there won't shoot him. They'll shoot their leaders before they shoot him because it's Isaac. It's the crazy terrorist. It's the guy who defended their land, saved their family, defended the honor of being a Korean. It's Jun Young. It's not so much he's doing it for Korea. It's not so much he's doing it for himself. He's doing it because fuck you. If I'm going to die, I'm going to kill as many of you as possible because I need it to be worth it so I can laugh. All right? But yeah, when he gives himself up and he transfers over, he transfers in the body of this boy named Isaac. Isaac Rondart. He is the son of a baron. In fact, he's the firstborn son of a baron.
Just to break in, like, what a metal fucking backstory.
Yeah.
That's like some, like, fucking Firefly shit, but then, like, he transmigrates at the end instead of becoming a space captain.
Pretty much.
No, that sounds accurate.
And this is a man who's been fighting wars for, 40? Like, he's like 40 years old when he transfers over.
So I got to imagine his main enemy in this new world is PTSD.
Yes and no. Okay, so there's a character named Kunette, and she is from the Northern Beast tribe, and she looks like a teddy bear. She's small, she's white, but she's terrifying to everyone else. She would murder them if they touched her. She is the daughter of the chief leader, and she has the ability to view people's souls when she looks at them. 100% every single time understand something about their soul. When she looks at him, he asks, "What do you see when you look at me?" Because he explained a girl, and he's like, "Stop teasing her. She's actually like a nice person." He's like, "I see a chained up monster." And he's like, "I'm chained up." Yeah. Till someone fucks with him. Then he unleashes. There's a knight named Anton you meet later in the book, and like in the volume 3. And he is the closest to a sword master because you can reach a level of combat called master where you've solidified your mana and your sword key, and it just, you get extrasensory perception, all this other stuff, right?
Excellent.
Anton looks at him, and he has the eyes of a weather soldier. This young 18-year-old slovenly character has the eyes of a man who's seen and killed too many people. Like the mercenaries he would meet that have killed way too many people and are dead inside, when he looks in this character's eyes, that's all he sees. When Isaac is put in this position where you want to play this game with me and attack what I own, no one can have it. I'll burn it down. So he starts a wildfire in a section of his own city.
Oh, no, that was literally. Oh, okay.
And burns it down. And he was like, there's a part where he's speaking to like the ultimate power in the empire who could blink and his life is gone. Like people would kill him, kill his family, kill everything, strip him of all title, strip his family of all title, strip everything. And he could laugh at him and explain, it's like, "Oh no, I wasn't doing arson. I didn't start that fire. Why were you gathering all that arson? Oh, I was going to burn down the entire city if they came in to touch me. That was my initial plan." I was gonna plan A was burn down and kill everyone. That was my plan, because if you're going to play a game with me, I'm not going to be a pawn in your game. I'm going to burn the whole game down. That's the way he lives his life. At this point, he's saying this with cockiness, looking straight at the Emperor, right? Straight at the Emperor. Eye to eye through this communicator. With like Arc Royale soldiers, only zealots, only dedicated to the Emperor. With a sword at the back of his neck and a sword in the front about to slit his throat, and only the word of the Emperor keeping him from being dead. And he says that to his face, laughing. That's our main character. That's Isaac.
He's got nothing to lose. Less than nothing to lose.
His goal is to be as lazy, as slovenly as possible, but it's plans within plans. This whole story is Xanatos' gambit at all times.
Okay, so TV tropes, again, we've talked about it at least once, but like, go to TV tropes if you should just be there. You should just know those places. But also, don't don't do that. It's very unhealthy. You'll open
To
too
those
many
that
tabs.
don't want to open that horrible hole.
I mean, there's a lot of tabs. You'll just open a lot of tabs. You'll just be absorbing pop culture knowledge.
You start to connect the tropes that get used. Like Xanatos Gambit's the thing that they used to explain, like the plan of Lelouch Code Geass, or, you know, some crazy plan within plan, deals within deal plan. I'll give you an example. Another plan Isaac did. He was given an impossible task, right? Go to this slum, right? The slum of smuggling, prostitution, whatever. And I need you to either reduce the crime rate down below 1% in 3 years, or reduce the unemployment rate down to 1% in 3 years. This is Newport City, an area where people will kill you for your food, where fungus-covered potatoes, they will rob you in the streets and share it amongst themselves. These are the people who would
Slaughter
prostitute
City.
their bodies for as little as a bite. Not even like a mega, not even like a giga. No, a bite. Oh yeah, that's how the currency in this is, right? The currency in this, everything's a bit, right? Like bit, byte, kilo, mega.
I hate
Giga.
this. I hate this so much.
It's so great.
All right,
Yeah,
so
okay.
you know,
Just do it for the bit.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm an economist, so I already figured out how he solves this puzzle, guys. He burns the city down.
I mean,
No,
If there's 0 people, there's no unemployment or crime.
he considered that, but what they did is they gave him basically the level of power of a lord. He has the power of like a king here in Newport, in just this administrative area.
Yeah.
If he was to fail, for some reason he was to fail here, his life would be void, and that his stepmother and his brothers, who've been trying to kill him the whole time he was at the college, the whole time he was a child, because they don't want him to inherit the Baron, which is the lowest level of nobility here, right? Not counting knights that are temporary just for your lifetime, but for like hereditary nobility, Baron's the lowest level, right? To not inherit the baronship, they want to kill him because he's the firstborn. Yeah. Normally, it would have automatically went to his older brother Calden, but because the current emperor was the firstborn son, but he was born to a concubine, and his little brother, who should have inherited because he was made the main one, stepped down and gave it to his brother because he was the best to inherit and become the emperor. And because of that situation, because the emperor was the first son of a concubine and not the primary son, because he became emperor, the rules are the firstborn son should inherit it. And by you passing over the firstborn for reasons that aren't legitimate, it's an insult to the emperor. The Arc Royale will come and kill you. Central will wipe you and your roots from existence.
It seems to be this like weird pseudo like future cultivator, but like also like filial and like propriety has to be observed.
Yeah, and there's like huge technology where there would be gas. There's magic here, but they're always getting new stuff. And there's like a secret mystery there may be other transmigrators here that's bringing more technology with them.
It feels like
But that's in
future
the
ancient
background.
China.
Yeah, and there are cultivators. People can get incredibly strong, but also our main character can't cultivate at all. He actually doesn't cultivate. Like his power isn't a foundation of military strength. His power is all the brain and understanding how economics and people work.
Yeah, economics is a very powerful power.
And he also takes advantage of, elves and
That's why he thought of the burn things down plan.
the bearmen.
Now, I get this guy. He likes efficiency. No, I actually understand this character now, and it's terrifying. An economist that was given the halo of a main character, they're fucked.
Yeah. He also understands how to handle, because he's led militaries before, his plans he comes up with are terrifying because his gut is scorched earth. People have to limit him when they ask him to do something. Like, no killing, please.
Please.
And he's like, oh, sure. And then he'll message to the syndicate leaders he's taking over, and he'd be like, yeah, make sure they're not found.
I ain't kill him.
Brush underneath it, like, solve it,
Do these clean.
Yeah. And he doesn't value the syndicate members. They understand that their life is meaningless to him. The only thing that's important to them is that you do the job and don't bother him so he can be lazy, sit on his roof and drink his wine in peace. And play his violin badly. People are terrified because he'll be up there watching what's going on, drinking, being lazy. telling people to do horrific work, right? Work is like super hard work. Telling his co-highs and all these people to go do work, and he's like chilling, being lazy. And all you would hear is the most excruciating sound of a violin coming from his roof. They imported some of the best musicians in Bar City area because he converted Newport City into Sin City. Gambling is illegal in the empire, except in his city, because he's the Lord, which means he gets to set the punishment. And his fine for gambling in his city is 1 giga. So that means when you enter the city, you pay the 1 giga to get into the city, and then do whatever you want in this area.
Oh no, I paid my fine.
And
No, you're right. I did gamble. I'm sorry. I forgot.
yeah, you've already paid your fine. You're good. If you want to, prostitution, this is the one area where prostitution has been decriminalized. He can't make it illegal. And you try to get around him. They tried to, Port City, the place across the bridge, they lobbied the government to pass rules that prostitution is no longer a misdemeanor. It's a felony. And he was like, oh, well, since I have to register all the people here, let's register every woman who wants to sell their body. Registration card must be a Blue Rose. So you're a Blue Rose of Newport City. Every woman with the ID card Blue Rose is technically a prostitute, right? But all the prices are regulated by us, the government, and go straight to the girls, right? We regulate the prices. That means you're not haggling prices. That means you just take a girl and you bring her with you to the hotel room, and everything is done. The credit cards I made. Oh yeah, he created credit cards in the area, of course.
Credit cards.
Which is IOU, so your family needs to pay everything and use the card, so they're forced to spend more money because they don't realize how much they're spending because it's all on the card. See, it's great. Everything that entraps. He creates multi-level
He's gonna
marketing.
throw microtransactions out, and people are just gonna die.
He created multi-level marketing in this area where he would get like on-the-cuff poor barons to bring in their friends, and he would get 30% of the money to his friends who joined the membership and come gamble at our Nobles Casino. 30% of the money
the only
they
good
get.
spot in a pyramid scheme.
He created the pyramid scheme, and he was explaining how, and then there's merchant guild members here watching him work, and they're just appalled that it even works. Like, and he created advertising where, like, imagine if you were to come here and show your stuff to these nobles when they take over their family stuff. Who will they think of in their time of need? Oh yeah, your merchants guild, because you provided a great deal for them for free at this time and place. Advertisement, I guarantee returns on the investment. So he gets these people to give money to him to set things up by advertising. Oh, and he's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna build these dormitories, and they're gonna be like the size of a bed because he needs to house all these people because someone gets sent to give him some oversight because he was doing some crazy shit, right? This is crazy shit. They sent somebody for oversight. He comes up with, we're going to make the worst form of single person living possible. And then right next to it, we're going to do the family living there. They're going to pay for that. But to not deal with paying for all the construction, he goes to the construction guilds, goes to the merchant guilds. He goes to the magic technology guilds, the spires. And he was like, hey, I'm going to let you guys do bids. And we're going to order 50,000 of them. You're going to provide the resources. We will pay for your labor, whatever. But in return, what we'll do is we'll give your spire, whoever wins the bid, the rights to the design plan that I just gave up. You have full rights to sell. Keep all that money. We won't charge you. And the people who show up can advertise. It's fine. And he even did it. Like, he created another form. He started betting on wars. His wars are like fought here. They're not real wars because you're not leaving the empire. It's wars between
Inner struggles.
the inner struggles for respect or because they want something or whatever, right?
Yeah,
it's
you got to
approved
allow
by
those.
Central.
You allow those because if you don't, your men get lazy and then you get attacked by outsiders. Yeah.
He set up betting on it, and people were appalled. But he's like, "We'll only do betting on the people who shared the number of soldiers they're committing to the battle and all this other stuff, whatever, right?" And
So now he gets all the fucking
the
information.
profits,
God.
and the profits will give 50% of it to the veterans who died in the battle. We'll give it to their family.
It's for a good cause. They're such a
Yarmouth.
socially caring and socially...
Charity and all this other stuff.
Yeah, this is lawful evil for sure.
They're such a socially responsible company. I just love the way it makes me feel when I bet on their wars.
Yeah. The nobles won't say anything because they understood the cost of war so high. Normally, the noble that wins has to pay for all of the losing and the winning side losses. They have to pay and get it fixed for the winner. That's the cost of being a winner. So it can bankrupt people. So doing this helps them with money so they don't have to pay for that expenditure, which enables more wars for him to profit more. This guy is great, all right? He's so good. Every plan is immaculate, right? It's just so good.
He's just Pheasant from Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yeah.
Embodied in a person.
It's so good.
This is wonderful. I need to read this book really badly.
I want to move us into fucking genre savvy, but you have been playing bingo.
We don't have a theme song, so I think we're just going to improv one every
Squealy
time.
bop.
All right, but you've been playing genre savvy bingo already.
By yourself over here.
Yeah, like with apathetic protagonist, lazy protagonist, schemes and conspiracies,
Yeah.
transmigration.
Yeah.
Don't know why I've started doing an accent. Ruthless, shameless protagonist.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sword and magic.
Yeah, that's a thing. And it's incredible. It is really incredible. Our main character has a problem in that he has no natural mana. This is a story. His little brother shows up at the campus and doesn't realize how much power Isaac has and that he took over the... Okay, on the campus, when you're on the campus, on the grounds on the island, you can only receive stuff naturally from their commissar, right? Which means the women there can't get makeup and things, and the men who are used to living life of luxury can't get that. They only get the basics. Everyone has failed to try to set up a merchant scheme there, but because he is at the campus, but technically not, he's not influenced by the rules of students, even though he technically is, but isn't. So he sets it up
Loopholes.
there
Yeah, loopholes.
and starts smuggling stuff in and giving gifts to all of the female teachers and all of the female students to get power so people can't mess with him.
He's well versed in the methods of the Reliance sect.
Pretty much. People would try to mess with him. His brothers, the different military dudes would come beat him up. They would lose and get the scorn of every woman because you're beating up their source of makeup, their source of stuff from home, honey, sweets, clothes. They want to look cute because they're here to not only go to school and learn all the stuff because only the best can get here. Only the best make it into college. But they're also here, the commoners and nobles here. They're here to find a good husband from the college, a good wife, all this other stuff. Because he provides that, if you hurt Isaac, you hurt them, and the women will destroy you. But yeah, his brother shows up and doesn't realize that Isaac has reached the level of untouchable here and goes to attack him, and Isaac beats the shit out of his brother. Isaac can't strike back against normal students because this is his little brother. It counts as a family issue. The school can't intervene, so he kicks the shit out of him and explains, you don't understand your position here, kid? All the other stuff. Anyway, stuff goes on. The brother ends up sneaking to his lodge because he can't live there. He lives out on the port, right?
All right.
The one time Isaac let his guard down because he grew comfortable. He'd been here for about 3 years of his 5 years so far. Gets stabbed by the brother because he was surprised the little brother stabbed him. Just up and stabbed him. And because of rules, he was going to die. They couldn't help him in the hospital, which creates a whole other scandal that Isaac then propagates. The students are like, you wouldn't save him for rules, and now you want to enforce fake rules against him? He uses that as a tool when he got stabbed. But anyway, Cunette saves his life with healing magic, but her healing magic doesn't do healing. She does like combat stuff.
Yeah.
So she couldn't get their lungs.
Healing's an evocation spell, all right?
I will heal you.
School's Magic, D&D.
But because she couldn't get his internal organs, they ordered these expensive. They're 1 gigas a piece. A gigas is a lot of money, right? But he has made, like, at this point, like 20, 30,000 gigas since he's been there.
Yeah.
They're 1 gigas a piece to smoke one leaf, one cigarette, choyo leaves. And when he inhales it, he starts to improve, like, everything. His lungs end up better than they were. It's a cigarette that makes you better. And only by smoking a cigarette can he feel mana. So he finally has mana so he can light his own cigarette with his own
So
magic.
he once again
make
can
his own
chain
ice.
smoke.
Yeah, he finds a new source of chain smoking.
He's like, and he awakens something. He's like, I haven't smoked in like, since I've been here. So he starts chain smoking cholla leaves.
Of course.
And it gives him mana, but no one knows he has mana now. But it's only while he smokes does he have mana. So only with a cigarette in his mouth can he use mana. And he only uses it for the laziest shit. Putting ice in his drink. Smoking cigarettes. That's what
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, bro.
It's pretty great.
It's a cantrip.
The
That's
best
fine.
spell.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gets stabbed. And because of that, it led to his chain smoking, which gave him more...
He gets stabbed
like,
and he gets stronger.
Yeah. The cigarette smoke makes him stronger. Like,
So he is a cultivator.
no, not
cultivating
really.
his
Cultivating
comforts.
smoking.
He cultivates smoking. Chain smoking. He's the only person.
Medicinal incense.
Walking the
Everyone
Dow
else,
smoking.
people don't realize that he's just smoking a cigarette. Like, they're like, oh, he must be doing something for his lungs. This is something that sick people do. Nah, this is just what he does. Each cigarette costing more money than the average person makes. And he's smoking like constantly.
Yeah,
But-
I assume he's going like 3 packs a day.
No, wealth is nothing to him.
Yeah,
He could-
because he's fucking a master of the Tao of business.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking mastered white collar, evil, awful, immoral business practices, which are maybe worse than the war crimes he was doing.
yeah.
So-
And he also gets to do the war crimes too. Oh man, this guy is great.
No, this sounds like a wonderful protag.
Please,
Bill, were
read
there
it.
any other genres that
Oh
we didn't
yeah,
hit?
no, give me a sec. I was just marveling at that one. Let's see. We have depictions of cruelty, war crimes and whatnot. Management.
Yep.
That.
We hit that one.
World building. Yeah,
For sure.
City building, kingdom building.
Pyramid scheme building.
Yeah,
Magical technology. Ooh,
Credit
magical
cards.
technology. What's a cool magical thing that exists aside from the cigarettes?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite things. He lives in City Hall, right? City Hall was trash. He rebuilt it. He did it, but he lives on the roof of City Hall. And because he never wants to leave the roof, because he wants to be able to look out at his creation, and he doesn't want to go inside. He doesn't want his shit rained on. He has a force field, a protection force field over the roof that repels the wind and the rain.
Okay.
But he can see through it. There's defense technology, and there's also magic weapons and magic defense. When he first gets to the campus, one of his, I would say his friends, one of the people he can depend on, is driving a magical car. Like the first automobile, one of the first automobiles to test it out. And, while they're doing it, he's talking, and he almost died because they don't have seatbelts yet. They don't have airbags yet. So he almost ran into a tree. And then he's like, oh, note to self, to improve this, we need to add safety stuff in here. It's really easy to kill ourselves.
Didn't
by
figure
being
that shit out
distracted.
until like the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, god
They
damn.
move pretty fast out here. They have a lot of cool technology, and you can see technology is progressing. Again, within chapters, you'll get like hints from like the central agents in here that are surveilling him because he could be a potential type 2 or maybe a type 3 or type 4 because they're tracking people, and they're different sides here because there's also mystery behind this because the history of this kingdom, of this empire that covers everything they know, only goes back 300 years. Every book only goes back 300 years. Everything. Something's going on here.
Oh, okay.
And he's thinking about it, but he's also being lazy. It's like, that's not my problem.
I love
but
hidden
I'm thinking
centuries.
about it.
Like, I love fucking hidden past scenarios.
Yeah, this book sounds like a lot of fun, man. Were there any other stories that you like really absolutely have to cover?
Oh, man, I don't want to spoil things, but
All right, what did we decide? Up to volume 3? That sounds right. Hit a good story. Hit a good like medium in there story.
medium in their story.
Something that somebody that's reading it's gonna like get to and be like, oh shit, that's the thing that we're talking about. Once they're like really into this book.
Oh, yeah. So he convinces the elves and the North Bears to come down and work for him for basically free. The elves are kind of weirdos in that they're incredibly talented. at combat.
The
They live
elves are
forever.
weirdos.
But they're only ever trying to experience something that they've lived so long. They want to experience shit that they've never experienced before. Experience shit that elves have never experienced before. And because they've heard tales of Isaac from this girl, she is from a very high level family in the elven area. Spent time here with Isaac, and Isaac did Isaac things. He was the most interesting man, whatever. Putting her to work, helping him run his business, running things for him, using her as a tool in his machinations at the school. But because it's so much fun being around Isaac, she's told all the elves how much fun it is. Isaac can show you and introduce you to things you never thought of. get to see the depths of human greed, get to see all this cool stuff. So the elves are having a blast. They're doing like role play. Elves are dealing, gambling. Elves are
man.
They taught elves about vice. Wonderful.
doing
God.
races, like cool races using elements and stuff and selling. Like instead of horse races, there's elf races where they're surfing their elementals in the sea and they're betting on it. Cool stuff, right? But also the North Bears, which are a warrior race, they can like turn in between their bear forms and their human forms. But being in their bear forms costs mana, which makes you realize that Kunette has never left her bear form and can stay in that forever, which shows why like Grizzly, who's a North Bear warrior, who's been a warrior, he becomes like the personal protector of Isaac. He's like Isaac's Alfred, right? And he's terrified of Kunette. He's like, Isaac, if you do this, Kunette will kill me. Please don't do this. But Grizzly is sick. He creates a contract with the North Bears, because North Bears have one glaring weakness, the only weakness of their race. They can be bought out for honey. They only value honey. They don't value money, they value honey. Elven honey is the most important honey.
Bears.
So much so that when people try to hire North Bear mercenaries, what ends up happening usually is because they can't beat the North Bears, half the time, unless they're knights or masters, because they can't beat the North Bears, they'll offer the North Bears more honey. So North Bears will betray their original master to serve the person who offered them more honey. So what Homeboy did was he found a way for them to work for them. And he was like, it's really easy because I've been with Kunette, I understand how their minds work. This is what I'm going to do. If you come work for me, you're going to sign this contract. In the contract is an addendum that if someone else offers you honey, take the honey, keep it for yourself, let me know that they gave you honey, and then betray them immediately. And he's like, you solved our mercenary problem. Now we won't be doomed, because they're loyal, but they're loyal to whoever gave them honey, and now they can stay loyal to their person through just wordplay and legalese.
And let them satisfy their propriety.
Yeah.
No, I love this. I love this society. Like, the hints I'm getting about how this place works is wonderful.
Oh my God. There's this one story where like Port City thought they could mimic what Newport was doing, and they set up their own
Well, of course
casino.
they can. They're Port City.
Yeah.
So like the newer version like can't be as good as they are.
Yeah.
Not classic Port City.
Classic.
Well, there used to be one city, right? And then they built this huge canal that cuts through this giant mountain so they could become the central shipping area. But doing it bankrupt most of the city. So the people bought up all the land, and they brought in a bunch of workers on loan. And when they finished building it, they kicked all of the workers out of the one side of the city and put them there. And then what they did was they turned it into a puppet state, owned all the land there so none of the people could own the land, and then removed it from being part of their city so they could form their own city where they run it and get all of the tax money and whatever.
Everybody who works in Newport City lives in Port City.
Everybody works in Port City, lives in Port City. The people in Newport City can't even come over because it's a slum with like 97% unemployment.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the money to go
Nobody
to
got
Port
the money to
City.
come. They can't even come across or without being attacked by guards. It's brutal.
The guards
Sorry,
can
we're supposed
see
to shut
where
down
you're
the bank
from.
if anyone from Florida even comes in.
Pretty much. That's it. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
That's a Good Place quote. You should watch that show too.
That's a fantastic show.
I do want to point out one of the recommendations is Soul Station Necromancer. Hey, what are your thoughts on that?
They're definitely very different. If you like Soul Station Necromancer, you'd probably like this because you like that style of main character to just get stuff done.
Yeah, efficient, brutal.
Pragmatic.
Efficient.
But he's pragmatic to a T, but he's pragmatic without doing the work himself. And he's not willing to make himself look a fool to pull stuff off, right?
I love this trope of the incredibly talented lazy person that Korea loves so much.
Oh yeah.
That's this character in space.
Well, that's what everybody likes to imagine themselves to be.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm too lazy to do any of the stuff that I would do, but if I could, I would fucking destroy.
I could figure out how to
I
do
would
it,
be
though,
the
right?
best.
Well, I mean, like, I guess this is more of a Korean thing because, like, a lot of the Chinese ones are like, nah, he just worked harder than all of them. He just kept working harder until he, worked too hard.
This character already did that in his previous life. He worked really hard.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is my second life. I ain't gotta do that no more. I don't have to do anything.
I have so much of a head start.
He's so good at being lazy that he blackmails graduates of his own campus to come and work for him. And he got dirt on them by encouraging them to try to embezzle from him. But guess what? He said, do it in moderation. Find out that you did more, then that'll be something. This goes back to when he pretended to be an idiot, like pretended to give up and start gambling millions of dollars in gigas and giving up all of his real estate by going to Port City's casino. Because he's like, I'm going to break them. So he basically like hustles them out of all of their money. Like what was it? 60 million gigas, which is more money than everyone in Port City had.
Yeah, it checks out.
So much so that if he was to get it, everyone would go bankrupt in Port City that had to pay for that. 6 months before he did this plan, he sent to the empire and got them to come up with the rule that if you win money in a casino, the casino must pay up immediately, regardless. And if they can't, then the owners of the casino, if they can't, the investors of the casino, and if they can't, the city that the casino's in must pay immediately. And at the same time he is hustling them, the letter comes in with the proclamation of the emperor. This must be happening. And he set this up a long time ago. So he knew they were going to try to make a casino to go against them. And he came up with this plan and hired the dealer that's been working there since the incarnation of the casino to set him up to win all of this money. And they can't prove it. They can't prove it. They think he faked it, but they can't prove it. But the people working with him knows it, but he's playing innocent. He always plays innocent, right?
Why wouldn't he?
Did you plan this too, JoJo?
Yeah.
So is this like, in terms of the openness of the schemes, is this more of like an I Shall Seal the Heavens where there's like a lot of setup for the confrontation, but the actual resolution is a lot of it is done behind the scenes until it's revealed? Or is this more of a thing where like we saw him 6 months ago doing it and then the story did other stuff and then it came back? Okay, awesome.
Because it was like, I'm going to find out these plans for this casino, and he'll ask about the specific one, and he'll get legal advice on this, and I need lawyers for this, and all other stuff. You think he's setting up. People are losing their mind because he's spending this money, he's doing this stuff, he's pretending to be a slob. Like, for example, they didn't realize he got an investment of $1 million gigas from the merchants to stop Port City for setting up their own merchant cartel, right? By them doing what he's doing it and opposing it. Investing in me is cheaper than you investing in lobbying in Central. Investing in me is a bigger return. I can guarantee it. So they give him $1 million.
Yeah.
Seems
Definitely
accurate
true.
based on what I've said.
And he starts a mess. So people start to doubt him because he was intentionally going to every single brothel what the syndicate runs. The syndicate, she was bringing like new girls because he was rejecting every single girl and getting pissed drunk on purpose, or going to every single gambling den and watching them work and gambling and wasting money and then saying, I'm not going to pay for it. And then the syndicate boss is going, don't worry, this was on the house, he just experienced it. So he was going to every single gambling den. Because he was doing that, he was making it so people could no longer go gamble at those places because the Lord Administrator is there. And this is a crime and he could get us killed. He was learning how stuff runs. And then he springs, oh no, all that was research. We're going to be the city of sin. It was all a setup. And we find out at the same time because we're like, why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Like, when you watch Isaac work, we know he's not that weak. We know he's not giving over to lust. We know he's not a lush. He's made of sterner stuff. But when you see him doing it, you're like,
The fuck are you
why
doing?
is he doing this?
Oh, that's wonderful that you
like-
have that you can both have that blind faith and then still be like, I don't understand what's happening. I know it's right, but I don't understand why at all. And that's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, man.
Or
That sounds like a good one.
He'll give out instructions like, I need you to spend this much money. We're going to hire all these people. We're going to build a giant wall here, right? Over this to deal with this. It's like, are you going to defend? I need everyone to leave. And they're like, why are you leave? We won't abandon you. It's not abandon you. I don't think a human can handle that side of me. I need you to leave. The elves stayed with him. Risley stayed with him. Some of the people stayed with him. But they saw that, like, he had to explain to one of his underclassmen that came to work for him, why would I put my life on the line to save people who are trying to kill me? This is war, and they were coming to kill me, and my life is on the line here. If I failed, I'm dead anyway. Why am I going out my way to save him? Save them. Thousands of men. It's not my problem. That's their problem.
Neutral evil, man.
Callous, but not wrong.
can't get mad at him because it's like it's real. Like who's gonna put themselves? I mean, like it was a little extreme for him to buy 3 of the boats that were in the dock that they came in on and moving away, so the mercenaries were stuck and had to get on the one boat. It was a little mean for him to get the elves to sneak while these dudes are drunk and drill holes in the bottom of each of the boats. Just small, tiny holes that they don't know yet till they put weight on the boat to try to escape. You know, taking advantage of the fact that these knights are wearing armor, that heavy armor, so they're like the equivalent of tanks in our world, wearing this super duper heavy armor, right?
Yeah.
But you can only wear because it has magic in it that makes it feel light to you. It's not light; it's incredibly heavy, but it's light to you because of the magic.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not light to you, right?
Water.
Water.
Yeah. No, that's a real big weakness for armor all around.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Just conveniently, those ships you bought, one of them carrying your construction material happened to have a accident in the dock and block all escape, so ships coming to save them couldn't get there.
Whoops.
That wasn't my fault. That was a happenstance. That wasn't me.
there.
I'm
That happens to
innocent. I
people,
was
man,
here
yeah.
defending myself.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Does he have foresight, like just personal foresight, or does he just decide, oh, well, these things are going to happen, so I know exactly where to disrupt the thing?
He sees the worst in people naturally.
That's
Oh,
good, because I was
so-
going to say his power seems to be awareness of the darkness of man.
He knows how bad man can be, and he's always shocked when they go with the easier, the lightest, the weakest decision. Like, these people are knights. They're pieces of shit that will attack innocent women to try to cause trouble in your city. Oh, that's another thing he did. Someone had to declare war on him. A whole nation declared war on a tiny port city. And because he's a Lord Administrator, technically he can be declared war on, but he only has a city with no walls. And he tried to surrender, and they rejected their surrender. So he was like, okay, they're playing this game. But anyway, he expected them to, rig things, attack immediately, do this other stuff. No, they show up. They can't attack before the set date. Everyone shows up here. They hired mercenaries to here to pillage and whatever. They let us evacuate all our people out because of the rules. They follow these rules of engagement. And he's just so shook because there was such a better way of dealing with this.
Like, guys, this is war, man.
This is war. And because they're playing these games, not playing war, his plan, he overplanned for stuff. So that means he's already solved the problem already before it shows up, and hopefully doesn't need to pull the trigger. And sometimes when he has to pull the trigger, it's like the beauty of this, because they play by these rules, money is more important than anything. When you have money, he explains, you need power, you need money, and you need authority. And you get all 3. As long as you have one, you can get the others. He chose to use money first, because money gets you power. Power gets you authority.
Yep.
Hell, you can even buy authority if you really
You
have
can
to.
buy anything if there's rules.
Yeah. Now, Bill's right. We need to get a main character who is the Tao of business. I need a Chinese epic fantasy where his main Tao is the Tao of business.
That would be excellent, yes.
Purely transactions.
That's it.
He just buys cultivation resources and uses them.
Yeah.
Like
He's not inherently stronger than anybody else. He's just got money because he's good at business.
It's
well,
that
his
Huayan
currency
sect.
just goes up stages.
Yeah. No, I really want a Huayan sect member to be a main character of a book. Is basically where I'm at.
I need that.
He gets karma coins at some point. Like starts trading in fate.
Oh man, getting too meta.
I mean, the god
No,
of
that's
money.
That's pretty like canonical I Shall See the Heavens level shit.
I mean, Nine Star Hegemon Body Art, they have an entire sect who follows the god of money. The money
Yeah,
god.
no, that's really the inspiration. I just want more of. I want them to be on stage more.
That sounds great.
And because the money god doesn't discriminate based on birth, that means commoners can give their hope to money god. Peasants can give their hope to money god. If you gain currency, you deserve cultivation resources.
Okay. That's a different book though. That's fantastic.
That's Nine Star best book Hegemon Body Arts.
Well, anyways, we've diverted off the path. What's next? Have we gotten there? Is it time?
Yeah, I think we should take care of some business.
Well, we don't have any new reviews this week, but we do have a Patreon that this episode's going to go out on in like a couple days, actually.
Yeah. Speaking of Patreon, thank you so much, as always, to Yuki Okami and to
Yuki
James.
Okami.
Yuki Okami.
And James.
And James.
And James.
Hi, James.
This is a weird ritual.
Do we have to call somebody out today?
Oh, yeah, we have to
Yeah.
embarrass a child.
I don't know if that's how I'd phrase it.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah,
how
no,
I'm going to phrase it.
Man, you really just gunned for the worst way it could sound.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I'll let you introduce it then. I was going to jump in, but you got this one.
So, we talked about a guy on our podcast a couple weeks ago.
Sage Monarch
It
specifically.
was the Sage Monarch episode because we thought Cody had told Kenny, but Kenny had told Cody about Sage Monarch. And the Cody in question was, in fact, the Cody that claimed to be Draven, you silly, silly child, with a fantastic name. So, child, you've been embarrassed. Ha-ha! Take
All right.
that.
Well, that happened.
Yeah.
That is a great name, though.
Yeah, it's a wonderful name.
Draven's a great name.
So what other business we got? Where else can they find us?
We're on Twitter at Tiger Coaster, and we've got a Discord. There's going to be a link to that in the description of the podcast. Please come join us. It's really fun. We talk a lot in there, and we talk about the stuff that we talk about on these shows with
And
other
people also talk about stuff and sometimes tell us books to read that are good.
Yeah, so
Like
come,
this one.
Come get in on that. Yeah. Well,
Thanks, Discord.
Thank
yeah.
you, Discord, for
folk
telling me to read
suggestions.
Isaac.
Who
because
was that?
I don't remember. I think somebody was like, I checked out Isaac. Have you guys checked it out? And
I
I'm
do
like,
remember somebody saying that, but we'll look it up. And
We'll look it up.
Well,
on-
thank you,
yeah.
and I'll shout you out the next episode because I would not have read it if it wasn't for Discord.
Excellent. Well, otherwise, we got an email address. You can send us an email there. It's tiger.rollercoaster@gmail.com, but it's not crazy important. If you leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher, we will read it on the podcast, and we'll thank you because that's
we
cool.
appreciate that.
Yeah, it helps us immensely. As I mentioned earlier, we have a Patreon. You can get episodes early and bonus content and stuff. See more about that in the description as well. What didn't we get to talk about, Richard?
So much, but again, there's not a lot, so it's hard for me to do it. I'll say this though, I didn't get to talk about Revelia, the youngest graduate of the college.
You didn't even get to talk about.
I didn't even get to talk about the horrific and intense discussions committees and secret cabals had to have about the actions Isaac has been taking.
Is this some third-person omniscient?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
come on.
want to know what a horrific committee involves, but continue.
I think that's any committee with more than one person. But
We
continue.
didn't even get to talk about.
I didn't even get to talk about. Oh man, I don't want to say it. Just honestly, go read the book, guys. Go read the book. Like
Yeah.
if you listen to this, if you don't read KR, this is a fun novel. It's short. There's so much more I want to talk about, but like again, there's not enough out yet. So like I don't feel comfortable spoiling it. I want you to enjoy your ride reading it.
Well, there you go. That's a stunning recommendation. I haven't seen Richard go this hard on a book since Overgeared, so it
Seriously.
seems like it's really good.
We were planning on a different book for this recording session, and then Richard was like, "I just read all of this book." And I was
Talking
like,
about Isaac.
Okay,
I'm like,
good
sounds
to know.
good. Awesome. Let me know why I should be excited about Isaac. So we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.